I was speaking to a primary school teacher, I guess elementary school if you're in the States. She was telling me that I asked her questions. I asked her the leading question oh, it's all madness this. And so I got speaking and asked her to tell me what she thought about the lockdown measures, and I asked her how they were treating the children. And she said they were doing all this social distancing madness in the classrooms. And I said, what form did that take? And they split the classes up into loads of, say quarters, the classroom. And she said the staff rooms were split into 3, so they usually have 1 staff room, but now they're using 3 different rooms, and they're all having to do like the social distancing dance around each other and all that palaver. But I was really interested in the children. I said, so what do the children have to do? Are they observing the social distance? And she said yes. It's harder with the little ones because you have to keep reminding them and nudging them, stopping them interact like normal human beings. It's easier with the older ones because I guess they've already been conditioned. Some of their humanity has already been conditioned out of them, and they've learned to sit still at tables and desks and shut up like the rest of us are supposed to do, just follow orders. But I said, what about lunchtimes? What happens at lunchtime do they go out and play in the playground, in the yard? And she said, they don't really play. I said, do they have to do this mad stuff where you can't, because I've heard regulations about they can throw a ball but they can't catch a ball or something like that. And she said, yeah, what they do is they sit in a line like a ladder. So they sit in a line where each child is a certain distance apart from one another, and the line is marked out on the playground, and each class is in a line, and they eat their lunch in this line in the playground. And this is how we're conditioning our children to live in this new abnormal that people are accepting, because we've learned to accept orders from the government regardless of what they're based on, whether they're based on science, whether they're based on nonsense. What we've done in this country, they passed a thing called the Coronavirus Act. So March the 26th, they passed this act, and it means that in a time of transmission, as best as I understand it, I'm not a legal person, in a time of transmission we have to comply with what the directives of the medical officer. So what they've effectively done is they've passed tyranny into law under the guise of medicine. So if you have someone who is a medical officer in a time of transmission, you obey whatever guidelines or regulations he lays down or she lays down. And that way, if let's say in a sinister situation, if a tyrant wanted to, or a tyrannical organization or a cabal wanted to effect measures that were not in the interest of the population, all they would have to do is to co-opt or coerce a small coterie of top officials, or maybe even just one. I don't know, I'm not in that field of influence or that sphere of the mechanisms of government. But as long as you can get your medical officer to make certain stipulations, the country is obliged by law to follow it, and it can be enforced then by all the apparatus of the state, the police, the armed services, everything. So at the moment we've got children in schools sitting in lines to eat their lunch. I don't know where they sit or how they do it on a day like today when it's raining, but she said as well, this primary school teacher, that it was affecting people. And she said it's exhausting having to remember to social distance all the time, and it was already gone out the window, in her words, in the staff rooms, because people couldn't maintain it, because it's not natural and it's kind of stressful to always have to remember in, I don't know how many dimensions it would be, front, back, left, right, how far away you are from someone in a school and all these little kids, and you've got to kind of marshal them and corral them and coerce them into behaving in a way that's completely unnatural to them and everybody involved. This is not a good state of affairs. It's not a good state of affairs to bring children up in this way. It's not a good state of affairs to bring adults up in this way. And effectively what's happening is, with all these things, is that we're going against our humanity. And it's not a good way to be. It really is not.